Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast with little gems from the past. Or not so little in this case. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and drumming away over there if you're watching the videos, my other host,
Chris Mack.
Oh, well done. Visually, it all worked out. If you're only listening, then this means nothing to you.
That means you got to be watching us. I'm giving you reasons to watch us because you're missing out on great bits.
Yep. You can do both. I don't care what
you do both, but I'm just saying sometimes it's good to watch.
Put the content in your brain one way or another.
Exactly.
We are covering the entirety of Sex and the Cities, or Sex and the Cities, Sex and the City, just the one. It's not like Attorneys General or Batsman. This is just one.
Yes.
And we are at the second season finale.
Yeah. I know, man.
Feels like we've been watching season 2 forever.
For a long time.
For a year. We haven't. But
it's because season 2 kind of fell in like 2 different holidays while we were watching it.
Yeah, so we took a break,
breaks
right in the middle.
Yeah.
We took our summer break.
Yeah.
Right smack in the middle. And so
exactly.
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Technically we would have been done with this like a month ago. But
you gotta take those breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We were fried. You can't watch too much of testosterone on this, it's like too much toxicity in this show.
Yeah.
So you gotta like take a break from it. You don't want to watch too much of it and then go out and carry out these behaviors in the outside world. That's just not good. But this season final was very interesting because it was very introspective, and I don't know if it was like some of it was funny, but like it was just a really good episode. Like it seemed like all the characters were kind of looking into themselves,
Yeah.
Which is crazy because this episode is called X and the City. And in some ways, all the characters are dealing with an ex of theirs. Miranda's dealing with Steve. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode, go back and watch it. Miranda deals with Steve. Charlotte deals with a horse. As someone
with horse trauma, I respect it.
We're gonna get into that because I definitely remember that story. Carrie's dealing with Big, and now is Samantha dealing with an ex per se?
No, but it's such a random punchline, and it took me a minute to remember who they were talking about when the guy gets referenced. He was the guy she dated for longer than we originally remembered, because I remember thinking, she doesn't ever date anyone that long, especially in these early seasons.
Right.
James, the guy with the too small of a penis.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's on the brain because she meets a guy with a far too large penis.
Correct.
Like, I think there's some tearing. I don't know. It seemed uncomfortable.
Okay, well, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about her since we're already.
Yeah, she's got a short plot, and we'll just get in.
First of all,
situation.
Kudos to her for being a trooper.
Yeah,
she didn't just give up yet again. Because here's the thing, this is how you know Miranda's consistently who she is, right?
You mean Samantha?
Yeah, Samantha, excuse me.
Yeah.
Samantha's consistently who she is because small dick guy, she tried everything. She tried all the moves, all the positions. It didn't work out. And with the guy who was too big, she was like, I'm going to give it a second go. Like she still tried it, even though she knew it probably wasn't going to be, it's not going to work.
She's probably the most consistently written character on the show. That's hilarious.
I'm saying,
I never thought of that, but that's probably true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the girls are, what I'm saying, low key, I don't know why everybody, I don't know how people interpret this, but I feel like Samantha's the wife material of anybody, even though she doesn't want to be married, but she's like the wifest, like the most wifest one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a many have tried, few have many have failed situation.
Right.
And they don't show his gigantic penis, but it did make me think of our sex life discussion from the other episodes. So I won't reopen that can of worms. Man.
Let me tell you something. If there was anything like that, the lady on Sex Life is also a trooper because she can handle that. Kudos to you.
It's just so big.
That thing was so a fucking salami. Big. It was a salami hanging down. That was
being a delicatessen somewhere.
Yeah,
in New York.
In New York.
But it is funny that it's Carrie's like, first you had the guy who's too small, now you got the guy who's too big. What are you, Goldie Cox?
I love that joke.
That was a good joke, good solid
great joke. Yeah, that was a solid joke. I wrote it down too.
Samantha's like, I'm looking for one who's just right, and then we'll get to her last little punchline.
Yes.
When we get into Carrie's stuff. But yeah, so not like a ton of character development for Samantha on that front.
No.
But just a fun plot line to go.
Well, no, so there is a development because remember at the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, she does get a little wistful for the guy who had the too small penis, James.
Yeah, she's like, I miss him. So that was kind of a little bit of development because I didn't see that coming. I was very surprised to hear her say that. Like, I know they brought him up earlier, but I did not think,
You know what's funny is I've seen this episode. They played this one, as I said many times over, a lot on basic cable. It's one I seem to stumble across.
Okay.
And I always forget who James is, and they cut it down so much that I think the context of her bringing him up in the Goldie Cox scene, I think that scene gets cut a lot for time and for content.
Gotcha.
So whenever I watch it, I'm always like, who's Jane? Like, I just never clicks, and then watched it as it was meant to be seen with all the jokes and everything intact. I'm like, oh, okay, makes a little more sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. It's kind of cool that you're like still discovering things in the show too, even though you've seen it. It's kind of, it doesn't make me feel so lost, like I'm the only one watching it, you know what I mean?
And it's very fun to watch as someone who's never seen all these episodes. Like that, the closing scene with the engagement and stuff, which we'll get into, that's like burned in my memory. I've seen it so many times. And they do trim that down too because the singing goes on. Again, we'll get into it, but it's just funny, and it's nice to watch them again unedited as they were meant to be seen. There's definitely in future episodes too, like things get a little stripped of context, and things are less impactful, which is a bummer. But
it's kind of
that syndication money.
SGP, I guess so. But that's crazy though, because the thing, like, if there's somebody out there who's like only seen the show on like TBS or TNT whenever they had it, like they really technically haven't seen the show because they missed probably so much information. Not just like nude scenes or like sex scenes, but like things that were said, certain scenes that were cut out, like for time or whatever.
Things that add nuance to make it to help you understand, like why the show is so popular.
Well, some of it seems like too, like it takes out even, like you said, the context. So then you go to the next episode. If it's something that actually, like, if the next episode is affected by the previous episode, you're probably lost because
if it just jumps in and includes something that was in a scene that was taken out,
right?
You're definitely sort of like, wait, what's happening? It's like I had to for work, I don't want to say any spoilers for it, but I had to watch the second season of the morning show for work. I did not watch the first season. I did not try to I didn't have time to try to watch the first season, so I just started the second season of it, playing really rough catch up, and like, it's a quality show where they don't like retread things too much.
Right.
So I was like, I had to keep like Googling. I'm like, what happened in the first season? Like, where's a good recap situation? Because I'm a little lost, and I'm not sure if this is a significant thing we should like ask the actors when we go to do the junket, or if it's not. But there's only so much. I watch a lot of TV and movies, and I am known as at work as like the person who has quote unquote seen everything. But there are limits to my powers. And I got called out today. I've never seen The Bodyguard.
We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. We're just, we're gonna watch it. That's all we're gonna do. That's
on the list. It's on the list.
Just add it to the list of things. When we have our episode.
My boss was like, I specifically gave you that story about the Bodyguard remake because you've seen everything. I thought you had seen The Bodyguard. I was like,
I mean, I feel like you should have seen it.
I'm sorry. I was 6 when it came out.
I mean, so was I, but I've still seen it since then.
I know, it just didn't come up after the fact.
All right, I guess that's fair. That's fair. That's
So
fair.
anyway, on to the actual show we were watching.
Correct. So yeah, so Samantha, like I said, like you said, wasn't much there, but she is missing James. So I can't wait to see how that unfolds because I never would have, heard. But I guess the big penis kind of scared her back to small penis. She was like, you know what, I think that was better for me.
Yeah.
Also, that guy didn't really seem that interesting. Like I don't think
beyond... No, he likes. I don't know. He was an interesting / odd person. Like he picked her up on the street. Although, who could blame him? She looked so fucking hot in that scene.
She did.
Which also cracked me up because she was apparently just shopping. When I'm just shopping, I don't look like that.
I've dated girls that do that.
I do not get dolled up to shop. It is a trial by fire. I'm like, we must, scour the lands for the items we seek.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. I understand, like, if you want to put on like a little foundation or something like that, and just wear like,
it might help you figure out if something looks good.
Right, like a decent outfit. But like, she was like glamored up. If you're glamored up to go shopping, you're doing too much. I'm sorry. I don't care what district
her
you're
hair was
in.
done. Do you know
how
bad an idea that is if you're shopping and you're gonna try things on?
Right.
Kiss that fucking hairdo goodbye.
Right, because it might not make it look good.
One dress or shirt you pull over the head, bada bing, bada boom, Frizz City. You're done. It's over.
That's
over, man.
Yeah, it's way too much. Because here's the thing too: if she's looking like that, it took her probably like 2 hours to get ready to go out. Easily. So, and it looked like it was like midday. So that means her whole morning was gone trying to get ready.
The only time my hair is done when I'm shopping is when I do what I call my fancy lady day, which is when I get a haircut and they give me a blowout, and then I go wander around like a bookstore and like some other stores along Magnolia Boulevard in Burbank. And then I'm usually not trying on clothes either. But I'm like, I do feel like, oh, look at me. I'm a lady who got her hair done and now I'm shopping. Ooh la la.
But that's different though. You didn't go get your hair done just to go shopping.
Correct.
Right. You know what I mean? Like you just get your hair done.
I'm getting my hair done. Even though shopping trips are usually like, I just want to waste fucking money. I'm not here to do anything purposeful.
Right.
Walk away from Barnes and Noble with a mountain.
But you know what though? I tell you what, if Samantha, if that's how she looks when she's going shopping, if she ever runs into an ex, she's not gonna have any kind of awkward.
Never gonna have that problem.
Good. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't gonna be caught off guard or nothing like that. If anything, she's gonna make them wish like they tried again. So
they're gonna be sad. They're gonna be like, fuck.
Right, because someone had an interaction with an ex in this episode, and they did not handle it well.
No, it's so funny. Yeah, Miranda and Carrie are like flower shopping for, I don't know, somebody.
Yes,
and what do you call it? And they see Steve just walking down the street, and he spots them and waves, and Miranda still drags Carrie like away, running in a panic,
sprinting away. They stole flowers. They ran away so fast. They were Carrie by association. She didn't try to steal the flowers.
Right.
She was trying to buy them, and Miranda was like, "We gotta go."
Yeah, it was,
which is crazy.
So awkward.
So now let me ask you this. We've talked about this before, but how have you, if seen an ex out somewhere socially, how have you reacted?
I've been fine, but I didn't have like a super long-term relationship. Is that kind of off again, on again weird thing.
Right.
So, and I've seen him so many times at like these friend gatherings, like circle things, that it's like not a big deal.
Right.
For me, but I get where people might be like, oh no, Max, Okay. But live well is the best revenge.
Right.
You're doing your thing.
See, so for an instance like this, like I've run into exes before of like casually dated or like casually hooked up with or stuff like that. Yeah. And those don't really shake me up because it's like whatever. Like there was no feelings involved. at least on my part. Sorry if there was on the other part, but you know what it was when you signed up. Anyway, just had to just put that out there in small print. But like, I've never ran into any major exes that like I had like strong feelings for. So I honestly can't say. I mean, what she did was, I guess, bad, but like,
it's stupid.
It was stupid. Yeah,
fucking childish.
Because he was saying like, if they were saying it was shitty, it was like, I don't know if it was shitty. It was childish, but it wasn't shitty. You know what I mean? Like, because it'd be different if like they were supposed to be friends and she had been like avoiding calls and stuff like that. But she like just saw him out of nowhere, so she didn't really owe him anything. You know what I mean? So it was just silly more than shitty.
Yeah.
But again, that's why I don't judge it, because I'm like, I've never seen any major ex that I had like really strong feelings for ever again after we break up. Like, usually break up and that's it, that's done. Maybe if they see me, like if we like followed each other on some social media, maybe if we're still following each other, that's the only way we really see each other. But usually don't even really interact with that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a hard pill to swallow. I don't know how, I was even thinking about that from the last episode, how Carrie reacted to seeing Big in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah.
I wouldn't go, it wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be that bad. Like, maybe if I saw the ex, I mean, here's the thing too. I guess it really depends on the time too. Cause like, if it's an ex that I really, really felt something for, and if it was like within the first 6 months of us breaking up, maybe I might puke. I don't know. The nerves might get to me. I don't know. But like, I don't know. So it's like, it's hard to judge this because I've never had it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's weird. But so she runs away. But okay, now, because I don't want to be like the cynical one or like the mean one, but like, so the next scene with Miranda is Steve shows up to her apartment to like confront her about
to call her out about it.
Yeah. Creepy.
It's weird. I watched it. I was like, well, this is odd.
Because he clearly knew that she was running away. Like, he clearly knew that she saw him see him and then ran away. So like, what prompted him to be like, oh, I'm gonna go to her place?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That seems a little bit murder stalkery.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't think you're cynical for wondering why he did it. I mean, obviously he still had feelings.
Sure, but that doesn't excuse the behavior.
But that doesn't make sense because they didn't talk.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they had, if they had spoken on the street, or if there was like some kind of information letting us to believe that they have been keeping in contact, periodically since the breakup, that would make a little more sense for him to have like the balls to do that. But he just, after that interaction, like, she could probably get a restraining order on you, like, just maybe, information. Like, I have to tell the cops I ran away from him. He showed up at our apartment. Boom.
Yeah.
Restraining order, bro. Like, what are you doing? Trying to catch a case, man. She ain't worth it. Trust me. That is a toxic woman. Trust me.
I think this is one of the things, though, that maybe endeared Steve to people, but I've never felt.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, I'm the cynical one, because like, I feel like, like, this is the person. I'm the person that boos at Romeo and Juliet. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be at the play booing.
Like a high school player, like, this play is bad. This play is bad. You should feel bad.
In my mind, when I see the play, I always boo because it's fucking disgustingly cheesy. But this guy showing up like that, I don't know how people can see that as a romantic gesture if you really look at it on paper. Yeah,
if you look past it, on paper it's weird, but I guess within the sort of context of the overall arc of the
the only thing, here's what doesn't make it creepy, is because it worked. Like, it's written to work out.
Yeah, it's written to work. Exactly.
They end up sleeping together by the end of the episode. Like, so it worked out. But still, if you take that factor out, if this is a real life scenario, this nigga's a creep. Okay, ain't no woman out there who is, if she ran away from her ex and then he showed up at her apartment, like,
people like Steve as a boyfriend and the overall like lexicon of
I do
Sex and the
too.
City
I do
boyfriends.
too. I do too.
I like him. He's not my particular favorite because I don't think he's cute, and I don't like his baby voice.
He doesn't have a baby. It's a bit whiny, but it's not a baby.
He
voice.
has an adult man baby voice. I don't care. Prove me wrong.
I can't. Absolutely can't.
But as like a character, he's like an all around. He's a pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
And like I do like him for being like a good dude. Like he's and
well,
and
I go ahead.
For the most part, there will be things in the future that I'm like, I don't know. About that. But a seemingly good dude in the long run. It takes a while, but we get there.
Well, when they're in the bed breaking down like the reasons that they broke up. I like as cool as a guy as he is, like him and Miranda really don't mesh well.
They really, and I think that's why I don't ultimately like him that much as a boyfriend, because he no spoiler, but he doesn't exactly drag her down, but like and I'm not saying you can't, as we said in the other episode, you can't date outside of your like class system or whatever.
Right.
But hang on, they say why they broke up, and it was money, ambition, I think was one of them. Ambition. And that I think I think that's really big for her. And I think that's why I'm sort of like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is like if you're an ambitious person and you don't necessarily need your partner to be ambitious, but like there's a part of you that like you don't need it, but you kind of want it because you want somebody like that also can like help you and push you and things of that nature. So and a person like that, like Miranda, who's very ambitious, like she would never be happy with him. Like she made partner, or she like started her own firm and was like one of the biggest firms in the world. Yeah, she wouldn't be cool with just him being like a bartender, because it's something that it's just like, I guess it's a she would take it as a reflection of her. So like it just would never mesh. You know what I mean? Like
it was the three money, goals, and scheduling, which is a big one too, because they had the sort of. She has to be up early. She's got long hours, and he has long hours too. It's just like the flip schedule. It's the Lady Hawk movie,
right? You know what? Truth be told, I think Steve would make a better boyfriend for Charlotte. The only thing that really stops him from being like the perfect guy for her is him not being rich, because that's like the requirement for her. Like she won't even. That's a flaw in her personality, but
it's not on him.
That's not on him. Yeah. But like that would be, because it'd be basically that same, one of the big reasons that like him and Miranda broke up, because, he was intimidated by her money, and he would probably be intimidated by Charlotte's money. Cause she would like, at least Miranda, family money. Yeah. She has family money, but like, she has no problem flaunting it around. You know what I mean? Like Miranda would at least hide it from him a little bit and try to make him feel secure. No. That wouldn't work.
That's interesting. Yeah, because Charlotte is always saying she wants a nice guy, but then like Steve wouldn't smack her ass like a drum or something, and then she'd be like, he's not satisfying me. I can't date him.
That's true. That little closet freak ass.
Her absolute little freak butt would be like, he's perfect on paper or whatever, like the other thing, but he doesn't, like show up in a gimp suit when I ask him to, and like.
Yo, and here's the thing too. With a person like Charlotte, like the sex probably gets darker after she gets married. You know what I mean? Like the longer it goes, the dark to the place where you probably don't want to go. Like 6 months in, you're like, I gotta get out. I'm scared for my life.
I do have to give Steve credit for he and Miranda go on their friend date, which I have a question about in a minute.
Yeah.
Perhaps you have the same question, but they go on their little friend date, and they're even joking about, she's like, thanks for letting me pay, haha. And then he goes to give her a kiss, and she's like, no, friends don't kiss like that, kiss on the cheek. And then they're holding still, and he's like, do friends kiss here? And that was pretty sexy. I was like,
It was sexy.
I was like, well done, sir. Well
It was
done.
sexy.
This is slick. This is sexy. I like
But
this.
2021, that's assault, brother. All right, that's all I want you to know. Yeah, sexy in 1998 or 2000,
2000.
whatever.
We're in the millennium, baby.
But yeah, 2021, bro. That's assault. She said no, and you kissed her anyway.
Well, he gave her. Well, then he asked, "Do friends kiss here?" Well, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he kissed her on the neck. That's more intimate.
He asks, but also does. I get you.
Yeah. He didn't wait for her to like say it's okay to do it, but she did say it. She did shake her head yes to the kiss on the mouth right before they kissed.
Yeah,
so I guess maybe that's where it got legal again.
And then they bone.
Congratulations. Yes.
My question though is like, so everyone's always like, can you be friends with exes? And like, maybe you can, maybe you can't. But would you go on like a friend date with just your ex if you were in a couple? I think that's a bad idea.
Okay, I have. So here's my thing. I've never with like a mate. Like I've only sat down and had like a meal with like one major ex. But it was like years after we, and this was like a high school relationship, so it was like it was real, but it was real. The feelings were real, but it wasn't real. You know what I mean? Like obviously we weren't gonna last forever, but but this was like years after we broke up. I'm talking like 10 years after we broke up, and it was chill. But like I don't know how I would handle a lunch with an ex that's like this recent and like Branda's ex like a year,
or Carrie and Big, which again,
right, somebody I've been with like for a year, like there's I don't know, like I don't know, a year or more. Like I've never had that kind of dinner. I don't even know if that's okay, but like if it was. But I think you can be friends with the ex, but it's like okay. Here's my problem with this whole friend thing is like. You're not gonna be like best friends with your ex, right? You know what I'm saying? And there's always gonna be some weirdness there, or there's gonna be some kind of like, maybe even like love or sexual tension. You know what I mean? So like, you're never gonna be like best friends with your ex. I think people can be friends with your ex, but it's always gonna be casual.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be basically acquaintances at best, because anything more always feels and looks suspect.
Yeah, I agree.
You two are both in relationships outside of each other. Right. Yeah. It's always going to look suspect. So you just got to keep it casual. Like barely even talk. Like literally if you talk, maybe you talk on social media and maybe see each other if y'all like share mutual friends in some places. But like, I don't know about this, like hanging out and going on a like friend date, even if it's a lunch, like, that's weird. I don't know.
Did Maya not sing In Case of the Ex? What is the lyrics? You didn't have. Sorry.
Yeah. Elizabeth Stanton from Michigan just quoted Maya.
I'm from the greater Metro Detroit area. Thank you very much. The outskirts, for sure. Definitely the outskirts. Might have been more cornfields than buildings, but whatever.
But you still hit us with a
I watched MTV in the early 2000s.
You said it like you're drunk. I watched MTV in the early 2000s.
Cisco's Shakedown, where they taught you how to do the dance moves for the music
videos.
What a great summer that was.
What a reference. Holy shit.
I still know like 4 counts of the dance from It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC. Yeah. And guess what? I'm not very good at it.
Listen, neither am I, but I still got it up here, baby. Tell me to break out, bye, bye, bye. I got you.
Yeah, I always do the arm direction wrong though. I never ever get it right.
Oh, it's all good. Don't worry. As long as you as long as you know the moves itself, that's really what matters. It doesn't matter which way it goes. That's
it's all about I double check the lyrics,
Yeah.
It's what is it that she wants? Tell me what is it that she needs? Did she hear about the brand new Benz that you just bought for me? I'm also not singing it to him.
It's fine. Yeah.
Just in case. Not because I'm a dork. And see, because y'all didn't have no kids, didn't share no mutual friends, and you told me that she turned trick when y'all broke up in 96.
That's true.
That's
always the thing. It's like y'all broke up for a reason.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like, and that's the thing. Is like that because that's always the issue, especially with our society. Is like people are always afraid of that. Are they going to get back together? Will they? Won't they? I mean, it's in every damn sitcom, rom-com, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's always in the back of people's minds. So if you with somebody else, you can't be like best buddies. I don't go and like. I know some people are like, well, what if you grew up together? Man. No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that shit is done. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can still be cool and like keep in contact, but like that closeness, like, oh, you going over to their apartment, hanging out with her one-on-one and shit like that. Like, nah, B. That ain't gonna work.
Better turned out you are cousins /
because that's my thing. It's like and to me, that people that try that, I'm like, I tell them like straight up, I'm sorry, but grow up. Like stop being naive. You're being naive if you think that that's kind of behavior is striking any kind of like security in your mate's eyes. Like I don't give a fuck how unless you got like a wild like an open relationship,
like a legit open relationship.
Like not just
where everybody knows it's open.
Like both parties have agreed on the openness. Then maybe, but if not, nah, bro, it ain't gonna work for either body.
I don't. And I guess this is a good entry point into the Carrie business. Unless you want to do Charlotte first.
No, that's because Charlotte's quick. It's quick.
Charlotte will be quick. But this is a good entry point because Carrie says the line like we threw it after she and Miranda run away from Steve. They're all having brunch together, and then that's when they ask like, "Can you be friends with the ex and discuss all that?" And she's like, "Well, I don't understand. We throw away dresses. Why do we throw away ex-boyfriends?" I'm like, "'Cause you're not fucking dating anymore." It's was my reaction.
Right. Also, like you have way more chance of putting on the dress than maybe getting back with the ex.
And then like, and then she says like, "When you break up, where does love go?" And Samantha goes, "To the next woman." And I was like, "Yes." And then Carrie's like, "No, it's different." I'm like, "No, it's not, you crazy broad."
Right. She's like, "No, the love that we had, the love that me and Big had was
different than yes, it is different for every person, but the concept of love, you do not have it wholesale over the one person forever and always, and like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and here's the thing, yes, every relationship is different, but like, and sure, maybe, but that doesn't mean that like, also too, like you can have like a stronger love for somebody than you maybe have for like the next person, but love is not enough. There's fundamental other building blocks that you need to have other than love, you know what I'm saying, to make a relationship work. So maybe don't base an entire relationship on just like how strongly the feelings were.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely more than that. I mean, clearly she has to know that if she really goes back and thinks about all the toxic shit that they did to each other through their relationship. Jesus Christ.
And then she goes and tries to call Big like all friendly like, which is dumb, but she does it.
Well, like, but then Natasha... let me tell you something like this. Anybody out there, if you're thinking about calling an ex, or you think about any kind of contact with an ex, especially if it was like a real ex, like somebody you really had feelings for, let me tell you something. If before you pick up your phone to make that text or make that call, your stomach feels like it's about to collapse in on itself, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, it's really
if you got that kind of nervousness to talk to somebody, you're not friends, you know, it's just romance there, leave it the fuck alone.
You all didn't have no kids, you didn't share no mutual friends. Maya said it best.
If it would have worked out, it would have worked out. That's really all I can say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, I've come close to hitting exes up, and I felt that same kind of like that nervousness, you know what I mean? Because it's the same nervousness you feel like if you after the breakup you try to get them back. It's that same like not feeling like you feel like you're bothering them, you feel like you don't know how they're gonna react, you know, like if you hit them up or how they're gonna, you know, you're like all the worst responses are going through your head. So if you got that kind of anxiety, it ain't worth it.
But she goes ahead and calls Big anyway. And first time she calls, Natasha picks up and Carrie immediately hangs up, and then remembers that, hey, it's the 90s and Big has caller ID now.
But here's the crazy thing. I totally forgot how it was like a novelty thing. Like only like, you know, certain people that made it like a certain income a year had caller IDs. Like not every. It's so.
And
crazy.
it was like a big deal when you got one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I felt. Yeah, I was like, oh, we rich. Like when we got it.
Now I have like some of the people who I have to bring onto our show. I've never met them, and their name popped up on my phone. Like I don't have their number saved. I've never met them, and their name like automatic. It wasn't just the phone number; it was like their actual name, which is so weird. I think because it picked up from the email or something.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know how that shit works because I've seen it too, and I'm just like, what's happening?
Well, no, it was very strange because this is gonna sound like such a flex, but it's just my job. I promise.
Feel flex.
I had to greet Garcelle. How do you say her last name?
Bouvet.
I had to greet her for work because she was gonna be on our one show, Daily Pop, and so she called to say hi. I'm downstairs, and I went to go let her in. I've never met her. I have no reason to have her phone number in my phone. Her name showed up on my phone. Whoa. And I thought that was so weird. I was like, does she see Elizabeth Stanton on the phone?
Right.
Like,
I wonder.
This is very strange. What kind of feature phone shit does she have?
Well, also too, like, does she
I also feel like it's a security thing. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, does she know that her name comes up when she calls? I wonder if like somebody like, the crazy phone company, like, or some like phone company hacked, information. Because I feel like.
But I do think it's because it's all iPhone and like it knew.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Hopefully that's the case. So hopefully
maybe a little more connected than we want to be.
So I'm like, I don't feel like she has a deep connection to want to keep my name in her phone. And I don't. She was perfectly nice. She was lovely, but I have no reason to keep her name in my phone either.
Right? Yeah.
But anyway,
that's crazy.
But yeah, caller ID and star 69. What a time to be alive. Good times.
Yes, good times.
So Carrie calls back because she knows he has caller ID. Right. And he answers and she's like, oh, I called by accident and had hung up and I say hi to Natasha. And
all the bullshit.
And also I noticed when they're talking, Natasha comes in the room and he gets real quiet on the phone.
Which is not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all. Yeah. And then starts talking to Carrie again more when Natasha's out of the room.
Right.
I know we're not supposed to like Natasha because she's stealing. I feel so bad for Natasha. Natasha did no wrong to anyone. Absolutely. Yeah. Like she does not deserve Carrie's animosity towards her at all because none of this is Natasha's fault.
Right. And knowing what I know about the future, I'm going to bet that it ends bad between her and Big. Like she's gonna get hurt by him. Yeah, I can already tell she's gonna get hurt by him because just this episode let me know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I already knew because I know how their story ends, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can still even without that knowledge, you can still possibly hope that, there's a difference there. But no, I can already see he's gonna destroy this poor girl. And so as far as right now is what they showed, she's a nice person.
She's just like living her life and thinks she's got her man. And meanwhile, he's like, hey, Carrie, my ex-girlfriend. Let's go and have lunch together.
Boy. Anyway, continue the story.
Yeah, so they go and have lunch together. And this is like the most uncomfortable we've ever seen him. He's like tripping over himself and his words and and then
he was literally a blabbering idiot.
He was like
first part.
It's like on and on. That was crazy. So it's like
it's kind of cute though.
It was like well done on his performance because he's usually so cool and collected as Big, and he did a good job of
he did.
Really showing this side of Big we've like literally never seen before. I had to give him a lot of just acting credit for that. It was very well done.
Christoph.
And then they do sit down to lunch and finally have some drinks, and then they're all relaxed and everything's fine again.
Right.
And then Carrie tries to be the bigger person and say, "Hey, tell me about your girlfriend," and then she goes, "Never mind, don't." He's like 2 seconds in.
Yeah, he's like,
and
she's nice. He's like, nope, no more.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't. Let's not talk about other partners unless it's really serious." And that's when he tells her it is serious and they're engaged. Her brain literally explodes. She's like, "I have a headache right now." Like her brain like fucking shatters inside her skull.
It's straight up. I believe, I know people say they have a headache trying to get out of excuses or something, but like I truly believe that headache was real in her brain. Like she was like, oh shit. Because like absolutely, if you went through the shit that you went through,
her brain is trying to leave the situation right now and can't. That brain hit eject and there was no, like Goose and Top Gun, and hit the fucking panel and died. There's no
gone
luck.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I mean, because that's considering their relationship and stuff like that, that probably had to be the hardest thing for her.
He might as well have like fucking stabbed her with a steak knife.
It would have been less.
Would have been better.
Way less painful. That would have felt like a feather compared to what she got. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Man.
Oh, it's rough.
That was brutal.
It is brutal.
I didn't see that coming at all.
I didn't see that coming at all. I knew it was happening. I couldn't remember when how she learns they're engaged, but I knew it was in this episode, and I forgot that he tells her.
Right.
And it's brutal.
And see, yeah. Okay, now what I don't, so he tells her that he's gonna marry her. Mm-hmm. I can understand why she could take that a little personally, considering the things that they went through and stuff like that. However, I don't condone her like going off on him in the restaurant like that. That was a little unnecessary because like it was a little immature, because at the end of the day, yes, that hurts, but like you take that anger and deal with that. You don't go off. Also, too, like if you really look at it, you guys didn't make sense on paper, like and not even on paper, like you didn't work. Period. There were so many differences between you, and you both were too complicated to be in each other's lives. Like that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I want to talk more about that later. But like at the end of the day, it's like, because I understand where she's coming from. I've been there. Like I've had exes break up with me. They're like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then like a week or two later, they're dating somebody new, and I'm like, that's what? And you're like, you take that in. You're like, what's wrong with me that they didn't want to be in a relationship with me? Because that's literally what they're telling you. Like, him and being engaged to this woman was like, I didn't want to marry you. Like,
and there are so like, and she does rightfully say you strung me along for 2 years, which I agree with. He jerked her around for that time. But there are so many stories of women who are like, I don't understand. We dated for however long, and sometimes it's a huge chunk of time, and then we break up after all this time, and then he immediately marries the next girl, and it is just like I forget how somebody put it, but it is like, they're just not going to marry you. They're just going to marry when they decide they want to. It's like likely to not be you, because they just want to marry somebody new,
right? Rather
than the person they've been with all this time. Like it's the whole thing.
It's crazy. It's like, no, that's so weird. Yeah, no, I mean, and it happens the reverse side too. You know what I mean? Like it happens all the time. But like, and it's crazy because like I can't fathom being with somebody that long. Like, I mean, I don't believe in marriage, but like, I don't know, to just marry the next person like that after you spend out, I don't know,
that quickly.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. But I think it's like a coping thing, maybe. I don't know. Like,
and that's for sure. I think that might be his thing, because she's like, you said you never wanted to get married again. You are afraid of commitment, and you like in almost no time flat are engaged to this younger woman. What the hell? And he's like, oh, things change. And that's what she's like, yeah, but like you jerked me around for 2 years about this, and it really things change. Okay. But he's very much one of those guys who's like, he was with Carrie for a good chunk of time,
right?
And then was like, well, I don't want to marry her, and then likes the new girl enough to be like, yeah, okay, I'll marry her. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, but it's a hard thing too. But I also kind of get that in a sense
Yeah.
of so far. I mean, because they talk about this later towards the end of the episode when the girls are back to lunch, and they're like breaking his new girl down and saying that like there's Katie for what's the movie?
The Way We Were. Yeah, we're plot wise we're right. Well, before we get to the brunch,
sure.
He calls her and is leaving a voicemail and apologizing for all this. Red flag for Natasha if I were her.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oof, poor Natasha.
It's like, why are you? First of all, you don't owe her shit. You guys are exes.
Really don't.
Each other's
Yeah.
lives. You don't owe her any apology.
Yeah.
Why do you feel the need to apologize? Super red flag for, and again, and this is how I know he's going to hurt this poor girl like really bad because he's already in the process.
Yeah.
Why are you calling your ex after, like, why are you even going to meet? I bet you he didn't even tell her that he was going to lunch with Carrie. I guarantee he didn't tell her.
Absolutely. He said it was a business lunch or whatever, or like, oh, I was busy, whatever. Yeah. And so they have that phone call where she picks up while he's leaving the voicemail and sort of like apologize to each other about how the lunch went. Yeah. And Carrie's like, well, I wish you the best. He's like, really? She's like, no. But like,
of course not. Fuck yourself.
No, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then he has the gall to send her an engagement party invitation, which
motherfucker. I wrote that down.
You motherfucker.
Huge dick move. Like,
what Jesus a piece of shit.
Christ, dude. Are you serious? That's so
real
fucking mean.
Psycho shit.
That's so fucking mean. That's so.
Of course, she doesn't want to go to your fucking engagement party. Like, bastard.
Like, how do you even believe in your head that you are friends enough like that to send that to her? Like, you're not. You're obviously not. The last time y'all had a lunch, she went off on you.
Yeah, she like fell out of a restaurant. Literally.
Right. Yeah. What are you talking about? I was like, this guy can't be that dumb. Like, he is the most toxic motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
This is why people fucking hate
and I guarantee you another thing too. One, he did that so she could be thinking about him. Two, I guarantee you he didn't tell fucking Natasha that he was sending that shit because she'd be like, oh, your ex is gonna be there? Oh, that's
cool.
Yeah, cool.
How fucking old are you again?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, you don't. I'm sorry. I don't care. Like, these people are like, oh, friends with my ex. No, you're not. You don't invite them to the wedding, or maybe you can invite them to the wedding, not the engagement, but maybe the wedding, because like that seals the deal.
That's pretty. That's
you know what I mean. It's like
the process,
right? Like
a little harder to break up.
Yeah. It seals the
not
deal
impossible, but harder.
Not impossible, but a little. Yeah.
But yes, so that gets us to the drinks and the way. Yes, the way we were discussing, which I have to be embarrassed and say I have not seen yet. I want to. I like Barbra Streisand. I love that Samantha's like, it's a chick flick. Of course I didn't see it. It's a solid joke.
That's why I fucked with Samantha, babe.
But yeah, it is very obvious, a very seminal movie, big Barbra Streisand movie. And they get into some of the plot of it.
Yes.
I was rereading the plot description. So it is like 30s to like kind of like 50s, 60s, and Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford meet in college and I think date, but then kind of drift apart and are, on again, off again. But the problem is like they're, they love each other so intensely, but they're like life point of views are very, very different. He's like a waspy, rich, privileged boy, kind of more conservative in the long run, and she's liberal, like New York Jewish. It's a whole different like lifestyle, like and there's the WASP Jewish conflict and all that, and so they run into those kind of issues as they like get to know each other. And so she's complicated because she's Katie with the curly hair, and he marries another girl in the long run. And that is the closing scene of the movie is your girl is lovely Hubble, and that's the way they were. And then they get into the song, and it's a romantic movie, but it's very sad at the same time because they aren't together in the end. Spoiler alert from the movie from 1973.
But you know what though? I love movies like that because it's kind of that's reality.
It's more real. It hurts, but it's like,
Yeah, it's more real because, like, because they were saying that there's a Katie girls, which is like, I guess, the complicated
The
girls, and then there's
complicated
girls
girls.
like,
The simple girl. I don't know the
simple
name
girl.
of the girl he marries in the movie offhand,
Right.
but yes, the
She's
simple
apparently
girls.
simple, but it's like,
yeah.
Like, first of all, like, any man that wants to get married, if he believes in marriage and wants to have, like, settle down, have kids, why would he want, like, the super complicated wife? He wants
Because
the
it
simple
was
wife
passionate, damn it. It was
yeah,
passionate.
it's passionate for like how long, and then you're like,
And
these
you're just
two
fighting all the time.
you're fighting all the time and damn near killing each other. Like, no, most men, any rational, any like well-developed man who's like ready to get married, because most men who are ready to get married are well-developed most times, like, give or take,
No.
most, not always. There's some that just do it passionately. We ain't gonna talk about those guys. Those are like my uncle who's been married 7 times. Sorry, uncle, you have
7 times.
7 times. 7.
Okay.
7. Yeah. He must be a great husband. But anyway, yeah, like, so yeah, you don't want like a complicated thing. You don't want something like, because like, okay, look at a relationship like Carrie and Big had. Like, can you imagine them married? She was like constantly insecure and testing him. He was constantly making her insecure, so she would have to test him. Like, that's way too complicated. So so of course, the next girl he dates, if she doesn't have that kind of complication, he's gonna marry her. Like, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, simple girls are like boring girls, like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
They do, yeah. This is where
that's what you're all trying to be. You're just not there yet because you're all toxic bitches.
It definitely loses its like feminist street cred in this scene in a big way, with the like, oh, there's, I'm cool and crazy and kooky, and therefore I'm better.
A wild stallion.
I'm a wild stallion with this heavy-handed horse metaphor. I can't be tamed. Versus like, oh, if you're a simple girl, then that's inherently like bad somehow, or like you're not have a
terrible, boring life with your boring husband, your boring kids,
and it's like no, as we've learned over time and have always truly known, no one is a strict binary of like just about anything, and we contain multitudes, as I often jokingly like to say, but it is true. There, it is, you cannot truly pigeonhole people in many ways, because they are, there are some people who are truly like, one way through and through, but that's actually kind of few and far between. This idea of like, there's, Katie girls and simple girls is like, okay.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Y'all talking, they talking shit about like corny people, but corny people are usually happy as fuck. They usually get married.
And they hate that.
You know what I'm saying?
They hate it so much.
It's the corniest couple you see, that one you're like, oh, I can't take it. They're the happiest couple. They stay together for like 20, 30, 40 years. Like,
happy as clams.
Happy as shit. So, maybe don't shit on them, because maybe they're doing something right. Maybe take some advice from the corny motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Like, I think I had, I will say, some of that attitude, like, about like, oh, I'm like a cooler, a smarter person in like high school, college. Yeah. And then you learn over time, these women apparently didn't, but you learn over time, hey, most people just want to fucking do their own thing and what makes them happy.
Right.
And if it's not fucking impacting you in any way, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
If they want to like their corny thing or do their boring, I might still make fun of it, but like at the same time, I'm not going to be like trying to like stop them or
right. Yeah.
And also just, let people fucking live, man.
Yeah.
Because I know I tell people about things I'm into, and I'm like, that's corny or weird. I'm like, well, what you're into is corny and weird. We're all into corny and weird things. It's just different for everybody what the corny weird thing is. It doesn't matter. Maybe some are more socially acceptable, but again, in the long run, who fucking cares?
Who fucking cares? So then Carrie, ends with her soliloquy about her being the horse that's too wild to be tamed. Yeah, like,
it wasn't big that needed
what a way for her to rationalize like the breakup and like how it didn't work out. She's like, oh, he's just too boring for me. I'm too wild for his simple lifestyle. And to be fair, he is a corny, boring motherfucker, but still, take it easy. You also a crazy bitch. Like,
like
Don't be so proud. I'm a crazy bitch. I'm walking down the street in slow-mo. Get the fuck out of here.
There's some have you ever heard the Lana Del Rey song Ride? About her, like she just rides, and like one lyrics is like,
oh yeah,
something I've got a war in my mind, and one of the other lyrics is I'm fucking crazy. And so there's some remix thing or something that somebody did a parody audio of where they took part of the chorus where it's like, I am fucking crazy, but I'm free. Like that's what it is. You know, like just because you're doing your own thing, yeah, right. You're free, but you are also fucking crazy.
You need counseling, bitch. You need some counseling.
Yeah, but I do like, just from like a writing storytelling angle, I do like the confrontation where she's like, like, why wasn't it me? And he's like, that's too complicated. And she's like, yeah, this is just like the movie. And she does the "your girl was lovely" hubble to him, and he goes, I don't get it, and you never did. And I do like that for her character. As in, like, you know what, he at least acknowledging to herself, as much as we're making fun of her for being crazy, but she is acknowledging to herself, he never really got me. And I have to accept that. And I do, and then we get the horse metaphor, but like,
and that's like when you're truly over. It's like when you really like when you really realize that, like, it's no one's at fault. Like, you're not the bad person. Not the, you know, it's like it takes two people to break up. Like, there's just things that were just different there that like just don't match. That like if you guys would have stayed together, it would have been harmful to you.
And in all fairness, she didn't really get him either, if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? That I totally agree with that. Yeah, she didn't. Neither one of them really. It didn't work. Like, but from the love was there, but the other foundations were missing.
But yeah, from the like strong female storytelling standpoint, the like realizing he never got you was like, right.
Yeah, I respected that.
Go Carrie, respect.
Yeah, I respected that.
But you lost me on the stupid horse metaphor. Like if they had just kind of ended on that, I would have been like, what? I would have been like, fucking amazing television. And then it was like, maybe I am not a stallion, because stallions are boys. Maybe I am a wild mare. Roaming the streets of the city on the fields of Central Park. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, she's like, I can't be tamed. Maybe I'll be waiting for another wild stallion to come. And, be like. No, bitch, those are toxic relationships too. Like, you can't, if y'all are both fucking crazy, you're gonna end up killing each other. No, what's wrong with you? You don't need another wild stallion. You need to calm the fuck down. That's what you need to do. Become tame. That's the only way you're gonna like be in a relationship that's healthy.
Or at least like, chill for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. That's so funny. Speaking of horses, we gotta cover our girl Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte's the one who helps us get into this stupid horse metaphor in the episode. I have to. This show has
her only purpose in this episode. So they can tell that shit later.
Especially as things go on, this show has never met like a theme metaphor that they haven't beat into the ground. Coincidentally, like a dead horse. In certain episodes, like there's one. This is no spoiler, but there's one where it's sort of like high school themed, and then every plot line is reduced to like high school metaphor, like about being in the lunchroom or this, that, or the other thing. Just brace yourself for that shit.
That's fair. But I'm here for it. Whatever.
It's fun though. At the same time. It's fun.
Yeah. So Charlotte apparently grew up a fucking equestrian.
Which makes total sense.
You know what? I was like, when I knew that she grew up like somewhat privileged, but this bitch was an equestrian. It says so much about her character. 100%, and that's why money is like the number one thing on her list when it comes to like guys. It makes so much sense because that's what she's used to. That's all she fucking knows. Like
90% of horse girls have money because having a horse and riding a horse regularly.
Well, here's the thing. No, you can have a horse like if you live in the country, but you equestrian, like she had the riding pants and shit like that. Because they're like people who like people from the country that own horses and shit like that. They don't talk about doing no damn show unless they talk about rodeo.
It's like a word.
They would call it a rodeo, not a horse show. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, she's talking about she was doing horse shows. She used to compete in horse shows. That's some privileged upper echelon.
Yeah.
Money since been money shit. You know what I mean? And it makes
But then,
all the sense.
But it all went wrong when the horse bucked at a jump or whatever, and she fell off and broke her collarbone and lost the blue ribbon. And her dad immediately gets rid of the horse.
That's some upper echelon shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the horse is still good. You will just get rid of a horse.
Like, but it cost them that blue ribbon. So
that's
fuck
all
them.
They care about. They didn't give a fuck about that horse. They care about a goddamn.
As far as Charlotte knew, that thing went to the glue factory. It didn't even make it to another farm.
He probably didn't. That's probably where it was sent.
Papa York took that thing out back. Boom, done.
Gone. Oh man, so ridiculous. So I guess
and then she never rode again, but then she saw the horse in the street and was like, I'd like to try horseback riding again, apparently. Triggered a memory for her to give a whirl, which I haven't ridden in like ages because I did not own a horse. Right. Do not have horse money, but I did go to the YMCA summer camps 1 week out of the year to ride horses.
Right. Totally different from owning a fucking horse.
Very different.
Right.
I wasn't even renting those horses. I mean, I guess technically I was. But yes, as someone with horse trauma, I identify. But we go into it, I think, more in depth in our first movie episode with the Mask of Zorro, because we got off on a major tangent. Enjoy that if you can find it in the episode. But the long and short of it is, I fell off a horse and broke my arm 1 year at the summer camp, and it is a hilarious story because, again, very quickly, they did not take me to a hospital right away because they didn't think it was broken. And so I fell off the horse. I'm cursing a blue streak, and we were in the middle of the woods because we were doing like trail riding, and they were like, well, we got to get you back to camp, but we don't want to make you walk. Here, get on this other horse. I had to literally get back on the horse after falling off the horse, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, so fuck you, Charlotte, and your
Charlotte's
you didn't get right back on 5 minutes later. All right,
big old wimp for
pussy,
that, hopping back on that horse. They took me into camp, into the medical hut, and all they had to tend my broken arm was an inflatable splint, easily from the 70s. I saw the box; it was faded and yellow, and you had to blow it up, and then they zip it up over your arm to like hold your arm in place. And they gave me a sling made out of a desiccated Pocahontas towel. And then said, well, sleep on it. Let's see how you do in the morning. And I was like doing okay kind of until that point. Like, I'm assuming some kind of shock because I was like in goofy good spirits, which means you're like injured.
Right.
And then they were like, all right, it's snack time. It's almost bedtime. And I was eating my free Snackwell's cookies they gave us, and I was like, said to my like camp friend, I was like, I would like to go to a medical professional. I want to call my parents. And she's like, yeah, you should go ask them if you can call them. And so I go, hey, can I call my parents? And they're like, yeah, you can do it from the payphone out back, but we don't have any money. So I had to call my parents, collect from camp 1-800-COLLECT. Thanks, David Arquette.
Oh my shit! He did used to do those commercials. Holy shit!
That. There's been others.
Oh my
the one I remember most because I think that's who I saw the most.
Oh my god!
And then yes, my parents got the call where you have a collect call from Elizabeth. Hi, what's up? I fell off a horse and I broke my arm. They didn't take me to the hospital. I really want to go to the hospital. You guys come get me. And they're like, oh, holy shit, yeah. So like 45 minutes to an hour later, they get me. We go to the actual hospital. It is most definitely broken. And then because it was the Horse Masters program I was in, it was 2 weeks of camp this year. It was the first year I was doing the big 2-week camp. I went back the following week with my broken arm. Obviously didn't ride any horses. And my parents were like, you don't have to go back. And I said, no, we paid for this. We're getting our money's worth. And they were like, what is wrong with her? But
that's a good daughter. Like, you appreciate that shit. Yeah.
And so I went through that next week of camp, and then I went back to the camp one more time the following year. I did not do the trail ride that I fell on. I did other trail rides, but they said, oh, we're doing this one again. And I did legit kind of freak out. And one of the counselors was cool. He was like, you have to go, don't worry. And I was like, okay, thanks. I'll just brush some horses here around the barn, because other ones like I knew were slower. We weren't going to do the jumps and stuff that caused the fall in the first place.
Right.
But I was like, I also don't like, are my skills up to par? I don't even know. Like I fucking fell off this horse. And so I did avoid that.
Yeah.
But that's my horse trauma. It's funny though. It's fun.
Horse trauma.
And you want to know why the camp was only 1 week the following year? There was so much other fucking chaos going on that summer in that 2-week program. There was lots of mean girls type situations with girls calling other girls sluts, like dating and boyfriend drama. I had a little boyfriend during that time, and he quote unquote cheated on me. He sat next to another girl when they watched a movie, and then he broke up with me when I got back to camp with my broken arm.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like this camp could have been a reality show. Why did we have this made? This sounds amazing. This is great drama. I'm like, I was like, fuck this episode. Let's just talk about the camp.
I'm sorry, I'm going so far. I will finish, but it is such a hilariously like convoluted thing. And yes, so this boyfriend also was not on the trail ride with me, and then at one point while I was waiting for like the barest of medical attention at the camp, all my little camp girlfriends were like, he's so upset. I was like, what, the owner? Am I in trouble for falling off the horse? And they're like, no, what? And they're like, Joe, your boyfriend. I'm like, why is he mad? They're like, he's mad he wasn't on the trail ride with you. And I was like, and I was a pretty cynical 14-year-old, I guess, because I literally was like, what was he gonna do? Like, well, like he was sad he wasn't there to like be there for you. I'm like, it's not like he could break my fucking fall off the horse. What was he gonna do? Dive off his horse and break my fall?
Hey, Vin Diesel did it for Michelle, okay?
Well, this kid was not Vin Diesel. And so then the camp counselors let him like hang out with me in the lodge while I was waiting for my parents, and I got like a dramatic kiss goodbye, but I felt awkward about it because I was like, this is not a good time for this. And like they were just outside the door, and I was like, we're gonna get in trouble. We were not supposed to be kissing. I was like, I just had bigger things on my mind than this boyfriend situation.
Yeah.
So I
had a broken arm.
I had a broken arm and no medical attention. And so that night I left, and that's when they like went to the camp, and then he like snuggled with another girl while they were all watching American Pie or whatever. And then I came back to camp, and all the same little pack of girls came up to me, and they're like, he cheated on you. And I went, huh? And they're like, he cheated on you. And in my head, all I've seen of cheating is on TV and movies where like somebody goes to a bar and it sleeps with someone else. So that's what I was like, well, I know that's not what happened because we are not 21 and there's no way they took us to a bar. So I don't understand how he cheated. And then they explained the snuggling thing, and I went, and then one of the girls was like, do you want me to like go talk to him? And I was like, yeah, I just don't fucking feel like dealing with this. Like my dad was still nearby, and I was like, I'm ready to be fucking cool and shut the fuck up about this boyfriend situation. Laughing it real fucking loud. Everybody talk to my parents about this. And so, then he was like, I had to jump here. I was like, yeah, it's fine, man. You cheated. That's not cool. And he was like, all right. And then off he went. And that was it. And I was like, summer love.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I had a better experience in Charlotte in the long run.
Well, yeah, I mean, but she ultimately got back.
She does overcome her fears.
She overcomes it. She gets back on the horse after a one-time miss. I like
the gag though of Carrie's with her for support while they're at the stables, and she goes to get on the horse and panics and doesn't want to do it and runs away the same way Miranda did.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a nice
little joke.
Yeah.
And I was laughing my head off at Carrie and her like fucking high heels in that stable. I'm like, those shoes are toast, girl. There's shit.
Yeah, why would you wear that kind? Like, why would you wear that kind of shoes to a stable? Like, do you not know what a stable entails?
Also,
at least wear like designer boots, like not fucking stilettos, bitch. Like,
open toe stilettos.
Open toe stilettos. Like I can see designer boots, but not.
And also,
stilettos.
just horse poop aside, if a horse accidentally steps on your foot, which they do from time to time, they don't mean to. Your fucking feet are
gone.
Like obviously I was wearing like appropriate shoes at that camp, but like I definitely had like a horse step on my feet like once or twice, and it's like a fucking 1,000-pound animal,
right?
On
coming
your
down on your bone. Yeah. And it doesn't take that many pounds of pressure to fucking break your toes, people. So yeah, don't wear fucking stilettos to a stable.
Yeah.
Don't know why we have to say that, but
but Charlotte rides again, as did I and will I at some point. Horse riding has not really come up too frequently.
Maybe next boyfriend will take you out to like a beach horse ride, you know, beachside horse ride.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Sunset horse side, beachside. What?
Seaside.
Sunset beachside. Yeah.
All those. Are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
I think I just did. My tongue gave up.
It gave up. Some word inside, like over and over.
My tongue gave up. He was like, "You've been talking too long. Shut up."
Yeah, yes, thank you for indulging in that tangent. And that is the most condensed version of that story I can tell. But it's so fucking funny. I'm sorry. Sometimes I tell people, they're like, "That's kind of funny, but are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It's fucking hilarious."
You didn't lose an arm, you just got it broken.
Why it's right here.
It's right here. Like, still use it. Functions. Like, what? Relax, people. Anyway, tell the people where they can find us, my friend.
They can find me, or they can find us, the show, before you ever find me.
Yes.
You can find us, the show, most easily on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast.
Boop, boop.
And that'll take you to all our portals: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the Anchor website that kindly hosts our show, which is cool. And you can like and subscribe on any of those platforms that you choose to listen to us on. So please choose one and do so.
Yes. And comment as well.
And comment.
Like your comment. Like, tell us what you like, don't like, you know, without.
If you're like, don't ever tell that fucking arm story again.
Yeah.
Fine. I won't know unless you tell me.
Right. Matter of fact, if you don't want to hear it again, comment arm.
Yeah.
Comments. Say arm. I want to see how many of you want.
I'm curious. Yeah. Fucking tell me.
There it is.
And then if you want to find just me when I'm not talking about my broken arm and horse trauma, I'm at Elizabeth Movies on Twitter and Instagram. Chris, where are you?
I'm Mack Diddy Combs on Instagram and everything. MackDiddyCombs on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Venmo, Cash App, all that good shit.
Hint.
I mean, if y'all want to, whatever. You know, I won't stop you.
Yeah.
Yes, be sure to go to Arlo Australia on Instagram. You can get some lovely, beautiful smelling candles. ARLO_Australia on Instagram. It's all.
If you're watching the video, I'm holding one up and smelling it.
They all smell good.
It is really good.
They burn really slow. They last for a long time. They're not made with any illegal toxins. It's all soy wax and it's lead-free wicks, so it's all good quality. And all of the scents come actually ethically sourced, so they all come from Australia. So you are getting like real Australian authentic smells and oils and things of that nature. She also does reed diffusers and bath bombs now. So go to Arlo Australia on Instagram, ARLO_Australia, and get you some candles or some reed diffusers or some bath bombs. And if you use our promo code, show me miss, it'll get you 10% off of all your purchases. So,
and we'll have their Etsy shop linked as well.
Yes, as well.
Show notes. So
you can use the promo code there as well.
Yes. So that's it for season 2 of Sex and the City. We're gonna pick a movie for next time and take a little break from Sexing in the City and watch a movie.
I think that's the right way you're supposed to say that and make it a verb. I feel like it was. It made sense to me, so I'm going with it.
I don't know.
It is from now on. Fuck it.
So yeah, and we'll have a special guest star.
Yes.
Of some kind, and we'll do a movie one of us or both of us or all of us have never seen before.
Yes.
And have a good time, and then we'll be back to Sex and the City shortly after that.
Season 3.
Season 3.
All right. See you guys later.